Listen, yo, after last night, we gotta have a conversation about the Celtics. Like, me personally, I've been saying it all season. Like, that team, they are frauds. And I would pray, like, I don't know this for sure, but I would pray to God that people are finally starting to realize it. The Celtics are frauds. Like, I guess there's no real statistics to back it up, but, like, the team just feels completely different from last year. Like, it feels like they're struggling to get these wins against bad teams. They've lost to some really bad teams this year, like the Sixers. They lost to the Bulls. They lost to the Raptors. Like, this Celtics team is not that good. Like, they are a far cry from last year's team. And honestly, like, Celtics fans, they're going to feel some type of way about this, but, like, honestly, this season puts a stain on last season because everybody during that finals run, they were like, this isn't impressive. You're not beating anybody. Well, they didn't play the Bucks, not that I remember, but Giannis was hurt. What's the name? Tyrese Halliburton was hurt. I forget the other team they played, but they got to the finals. He played in the series, but Luka was hurt. Like, his entire body was destroyed. Like, every team they played was decimated by injuries, and like, they just had a cakewalk to the finals, and their fans were just so up in arms that nobody respected them. And this season is showing exactly why nobody respected them. Like, this wasn't just some talking point. Like, this wasn't some coping mechanism from NBA fans. Like, these were genuine criticisms. Like, they did not play anybody impressive. And this season is showing exactly what everybody was saying last season. Everybody's healthy now, and they're struggling. I mean, the Cavs, like, they just came out of nowhere. But, like, that game last night, like, that was one of the most pathetic games I've ever seen in my life. How, Jason Tatum? Celtics fans tell me all the time, you are some generational, face of the league, once-in-a-lifetime player. You dropped 46 last night and blew a 22-point lead and lost. Like, I don't know your stats, but you didn't do nothing in the fourth quarter. Like, this is why nobody respects you, dog. This is why nobody respects the Celtics. Like, I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand the frustration from Celtics fans not understanding why they're not likable, why they're not respected. This is how they play when everybody's healthy. When everybody isn't healthy, they win championships and they cry because nobody respects them. This is what the Celtics do. Like, I'm not going to call them poverty. Like, I'm just, obviously, I got a lot of emotion. Like, I'm just saying a lot of stuff. But, like, that team, like, bro, they are not that good. Like, and it's crazy because the roster is, like, almost identical to what it was last year. Like, okay, there's a couple pieces here and there that are different, but it's not even rotation players. Like, Derek White's still there. Kristaps Porzingis is still there. Jaylen Brown is still there. Jason Tatum is still there. Peyton Pritchard is still there. Luke Cornett is still there. Drew Holiday is still there. It's like the exact same roster, and they just look completely different. Like, I would beg a Celtics fan. I would pay a Celtics fan to tell me, what are we supposed to think when the team looks so drastically different this season compared to last season? The only thing that's different from the two seasons is injuries. The only thing that's different from the two seasons is injuries. And the Celtics look completely different than they did last year. Listen, and it's funny, before I get on to my next part of the video, it's funny because last night during the Cavs and Celtics game, one of my friends texted my group chat. He was like, yo, the Cavs are such frauds, man. And what they do, 22-point comeback. Like, that's just the thing. Like, nobody fears the Celtics. Like, I feel like that's the thing that Celtics fans don't get when they're wondering why people don't respect them. Like, I wouldn't say that, the 22 Warriors, I wouldn't say that they're the most feared team ever, but, like, they had a fear factor. In 21, when the Bucks won, they had a fear factor. In 2020, the Lakers, they had a fear factor. 2019, the Raptors, they had a fear factor. Nobody fears the Celtics. I mean, you see it. Donovan Mitchell just walked them down in Boston. He just walked them down 22. Okay, and what? Like, it's nothing. Like, nobody fears this team. Nobody respects them. Nobody's in awe of the Celtics. It's just not a thing that happens. And so, with that being said, I've been trying to tell people for weeks, possibly months at this point, the Bucks are winning the finals. I mean, who is there in the East to stop them? Of course, we gotta give credit to the Cavs. You gotta respect them at this point. They're like almost at 50 wins now. I think they're 49-10, if I remember correctly. So I mean, like you can't just downplay the season that the Cavs are having, but I just feel like once it gets to the playoffs, I know the Cavs have Evan Mobley and Jared Allen, but I just think the Bucks have too much size for the Cavs. Plus, the Cavs don't really have any playoff experience. Donovan Mitchell has a lot of it, but other than that, it's Jared Allen, who's played in, what, 2 playoff series, I think? Maybe 3? Darius Garland only played in 1 playoff series. Well, excuse me. Yeah, he played in 2 last year, but I believe he only had 1 playoff run. Maybe 2. Yeah, 2 playoff runs. Evan Mobley, 2 playoff runs? Like, they don't really have that much experience, but, you know, this is, like, my prediction that the Bucks are going to the finals. It doesn't have as much to do with the Bucks as it does with the rest of the East. Like, the Bucks aren't massively impressive. They're not. Like, they look okay, but in the playoffs, it's just hard for me to imagine that a duo of Dame and Giannis, like, it's just hard to imagine that somebody in this Eastern Conference is going to be able to stop them. Because I didn't really know about, like, how dynamic, a guard and big duo could be until Embiid and Harden. Because, I mean, like, I'm a Sixers fan, so I never really saw any big guard duos. Like, that stuff, like, that was a thing of the past. Like when I was a small child and before, like, Shaq and Kobe and, Oscar and Kareem, like, all them duos, Magic and Kareem, all them duos. I never saw a big man guard duo this dominant, or that had the potential to be this dominant until Harden and Embiid. And, obviously they didn't get over the hump. They still haven't gotten past the second round. But, like, at their peak, when both of them were healthy, like, they were giving the Celtics a run for their money. Like, if it wasn't for a cold stretch, ice cold, freezing, can't hit anything stretch in the last 6 minutes of Game 6 in 2023, the Sixers would have got to the conference finals. And so, knowing the playoff success that Giannis has had, and listen, this could be a hot take. I don't think Dame is that good of a playoff player. A lot of people do, because he had that clutch shot, all them eons ago against the Thunder. But other than that, like, if you look at his playoff stats, the man hasn't done much in the playoffs. I know that's kind of contradictory to my point, but it's besides the point. Don't worry about that. But not like, it's hard for me to imagine that anybody's going to be able to stop Giannis and Dame. Like, it's the second year. They're starting to build chemistry. They know where each other they know where each other is going to be. They know how to play off each other. They know what each other likes. They know what each other wants. I just think this is their year. I mean, they're going to get to the playoffs. They're going to figure out, they're going to have a little 2-man game, and they're going to be dominant. That's just what I expect. Like, like I said, it's a lot less to do with the Bucks and so much more to do with the East. Like, I really don't think the Celtics are a factor. And outside of the Celtics and Cavs, I think we all know, like, nobody else even has a chance. Knicks fans, they might think they do, but they're 0-7 against the top 2 seeds in both conferences. So, like, that's just unrealistic. That's a pipe dream. So, yeah, man, I got the Bucks winning the finals, and the Celtics are frauds. Like, I mean, I don't know what more to say. Like, I mean, listen, man, I'm a straight shooter. I call it like I see it. You blow a 22-point lead at home when your supposed generational talent drops 46. I mean, I just don't think you're that good.